Welcome back to Trumpet's Call. Thank you for once again clicking on that button. We really appreciate your support. I wanted to do this video today because the time in which we live is becoming so treacherous, and we know that the time of our gathering is at hand. We are in the season of the time of Exodus, of our second Exodus. And if this Exodus is like the Exodus prior to it, there are some hints and clues that the Most High has given us regarding what it may look like. We read in Isaiah chapter 11, the Most High tells us, it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Yasharal, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth." Notice he says in verse 11 that he will set his hand the second time to gather. And this indication, these words give us an indication that the way he did it the first time will be very similar to the way he did it the second time, where the Most High brought plagues against the nation that was holding us captive. At that time, it was Egypt. This time, it's Egypt in America and Egypt and other countries of the world where we're being held, where we're being still held captive, so to speak. So if he allowed us to experience the plagues, the quote-unquote plagues of Egypt, while still in the land, making a distinction between us and the Egyptian, protecting us and providing for us, it seems reasonable that he may do it that way again. And so, if that's the case, just like Pharaoh's heart was hardened and he fought back against the Most High and his demand that he let his people go, so we see the nations of the world right now are acting in that Pharaoh-esque, hard-hearted way where they're refusing to let Yah's people go, even though the time of our deliverance is at hand. I would also bring your attention to Genesis chapter 15, verses 13 and 14, and it reads, "And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. We all know about the 400-year prophecy, and I believe that to be an accurate prophecy. I don't see this prophecy being fulfilled in Egypt the first time. This is spiritual Egypt in which we find ourselves. And if you also note, this country is modeled after Egypt in a myriad of ways. And continuing in verse 14, "And also that nation, there's a particular nation that the Most High is pointing out. It's the daughter of Babylon. That nation, whom they shall serve, will I judge." The Most High is saying of a certainty here that he will judge the nation that has taken us captive. There are many of them, but if there could be like a symbol of those nations, this country would be the symbol of that nation, of those nations, I should say. And he says, "Whom they shall serve will I judge." That nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterward, that's a key phrase right there. And afterward shall they come out with great substance. First comes judgment, then comes gathering. It's the same thing that happened in Egypt. First came judgment, then came gathering. Now they came after us. Pharaoh's army came after us after we left. After our ancestors, I should say, after they left, and the Most High fought for them. And the same thing is being prophesied again in Ezekiel 38 with the war where the Gog and Magog comes after us and the Messiah returns and fights for us. It's the same model. And if the model holds true, first comes judgment, then comes gathering. And so if that is the case, we have to be aware of the things that are happening around us. And so we have to be aware of the wiles of the enemy. They tell us the things that they desire to do in their movies and in their television shows and their commercials and their music. They're telegraphing all the time the things that they desire to do. So we have to be wise and pay attention and allow the Most High to speak to us about how to prepare. So I wanted to share this excerpt from a video that I had done earlier about how we should be preparing in this time. We are in the season of preparation, and we have to be preparing. I can't say that enough. I feel it so strongly in my spirit that people are just waiting for the second Exodus to happen, and it will happen. But if this one is like the other one, we're going to be here for the judgment before the Most High brings us out. And if we are, that means that we're experiencing that judgment, and we're experiencing the wrath of the dragon as he tries to come after the remnant of Yah's seed. We have to prepare. We have to prepare. And so I pray that this blesses you, and I pray that you allow the Most High to speak to your heart as to how to best prepare. The day of our deliverance is coming. It's at hand. But in the meantime, we are in the time of Jacob's trouble. The dragon is going after the remnant. We are the remnant that's left over from the destruction. We are that remnant. We are the 1/3 that's been purified by fire. We are it. And the dragon is wroth and going after the remnant of the woman's seed, who keep the commandments of Yahuwah and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. We are that remnant. And I want to encourage you, brothers and sisters, during this time, we see that they're telegraphing all the things that they want to do right now. There are movies with blackouts. Take heed. There are movies with cold winters. Take heed. There are movies with anarchy in the streets. Take heed. There are movies with famine. Take heed. There are movies where there's no water. Take heed. Pay attention. Be wise. Be as wise as serpents, but as harmless as doves. Take heed and prepare. Prepare your house. Prepare. We don't know when our salvation is coming. We know that it is coming, but we don't know when it's coming. In the meantime, prepare. If you don't have additional food and water on hand, you are not like the wise ant who sees hard times coming and puts things away. And he spends his summer gathering and preparing his house for the winter. They have warned us time and time again. They say, dark winter is coming. What do you think that means? Prepare, brothers and sisters, prepare. Food, water. Store it in 5-gallon jugs and 1-gallon jugs. Prepare medical supplies, your medications or first aid supplies. Prepare the things that you may need that may not be available if and when the grocery stores aren't operating. If there's a power grid failure, everything goes down. Everything. And life suddenly becomes like the 1700s. It's suddenly Mad Max out there. It's the survival of the fittest. Prepare yourself. Prepare your hearts. Prepare your minds. Prepare in ways to defend yourself in your home. If you haven't already done so, make connections with other Hebrews. Make connections. Share resources. Share homes. Share spaces. Share. We need to collaborate and coordinate. This is our time. This summertime is our time to prepare. Because when the fall and winter comes, my concern is that it will be like a movie that we will want to walk out of, but we won't be able to. Prepare, brothers and sisters. Our salvation is coming. It is coming. But we may have to go through some things before it arrives. Prepare. Be wise. Be wise. And I am not the only one saying this. There are many people who are saying this right now. This is our time to prepare. Don't waste this opportunity because 911 won't work. When we leave this place, the scripture says that we will leave with tears and with supplications. The scripture says that during this time that men's faces are pale. That means there's something frightening them. That's coming. That's here. It's intensifying. Prepare. So I just wanted to share a bit of Jeremiah 30 with you and to just encourage you to just be wise and see the signs of the times around us. Be wise. May the Most High bless you. May He make His face to shine upon you. May He grant you peace. May He give you wisdom on how to prepare your house. All blessings to the Most High Yahuwah who lives in the heavens, who dwells in the hearts of His creation, who loves us, who has promised to gather us, and He will do it. May He give us faith and endurance to stand in these evil days. Shalom.